So this is a reading by Arthur Palmer, and it's called Darkness Can Be a Teacher. Soon, in my patch on this planet, we mark the winter solstice. As we move through the shortest day and longest night of the year, we also start moving toward the rising of the light. For several millennia, it's been hard for our species to resist the metaphor in that fact. But I wonder, are we so eager to get to the light that we fail to dwell in the darkness long enough to learn what it has to teach us? As we all know, there are a lot of longest nights in life, and some of them seem impossibly long. As one who has spent months in the dark night of depression, I know how important it has been to let darkness become my teacher. The poets know this too. Theodore Roethke says, in a dark time, the eye begins to see. Wendell Berry says, to go in the dark with a light is to know the light. To know the dark, go dark. Go without sight and find that the dark too blooms and sings and is traveled by dark feet and dark wings. And Rilke says very simply, I have faith in the night. So perhaps on this winter solstice, before we start turning toward the light, we need to spend some time embracing the darkness or letting it embrace us. There are life-giving lessons to be learned there, even in our darkest times.
This poem is entitled Winter, and it's by Greta Crosby. Let us not wish away the winter. It is a season in itself, not simply the way to spring. When the trees rest, growing no leaves, gathering no light, they let in sky, trace themselves delicately against dawns and sunsets. The clarity and brilliance of winter sky delights. Frost and snow and ice play over the land, inviting us to join in. There is danger present in this strongest of seasons. There is power in the cold, in the silence, in the waiting. Let us therefore praise winter, rich in beauty, rich in play, rich in power. Let winter share its strength with us.
This reading is by John O'Donohue, and it's called Children of Darkness. We are always on a journey from darkness into light. At first, we are children of the darkness. Your body and your face were formed first in the kind darkness of your mother's womb. You lived the first 9 months in there. Your birth was the first journey from darkness into light. All your life, your mind lives within the darkness of your body. Every thought you have is a flint moment, a spark of light from your inner darkness. The miracle of thought is its presence in the night side of your soul. The brilliance of thought is born in darkness. Each day is a journey. We come out of the night and into the day. All creativity awakens at this primal threshold where light and darkness test and bless each other. You only discover the balance in your life when you learn to trust the flow of this ancient rhythm.
Many years ago, I lived in northern Saskatchewan for a fall. Winter came early to this rural area and there was not a lot to do. So we went for night walks, bundled up against the cold, and waited for the northern lights. And it was that fall that I first began to love the winter dark. The northern lights came often in northern Saskatchewan, and it was just astonishing to watch them dance across the great spread of black sky. Mostly greens and blues and purples, sometimes pinks and reds and yellows. You never knew what you were going to catch. And when the northern lights didn't show, the stars were spectacular in and of themselves. The night free of light pollution from cities. And all we needed was warm boots and warm coats to watch. Moments of awe and wonder arose from that darkness from the cold night air. And I haven't feared the dark since that time, because for me, darkness brings its own beauty, its own light. As we move towards the longest night, to the start of the cold winter season, this is a time to have faith in the night, to embrace all that the cold winter dark might have to teach us. Winter dark can be a time to go deep underground, to bury into the earth of ourselves and see what lies dreaming there. Abraham Joshua Heschel talks about the Jewish Shabbat, the weekly holy day, as erecting a cathedral of time, not of space. It's a sanctified time each week to pause and be. And I know that at this time of year, my soul yearns for that sanctified time. I need a regular half hour, maybe more, to pause, curl up, and let my spirit hibernate in a deep, dark cave. So this winter, you might want to build yourself, metaphorically, an underground chamber or a tucked away temple, someplace you return to daily or weekly throughout the winter, where the dark and cold can nourish your spirit. This might be as simple as half an hour in a favorite chair, sipping hot chocolate with your eyes closed. Might be a late night walk looking for the moon, or simply sitting in the dark, following your breath. We live in a world that asks endlessly for our attention. And the winter dark reminds us of the value of going within, turning our attention to our own sweet spirit. And I encourage all of you to take time in the weeks to come for an inner retreat, creating a moment for yourself that allows you to hunker down and go inward, even for a few minutes. Let these December days be an invitation. And for some, it might be an invitation to play and explore and to get out. For others, it might be a time of hospitality and connection. And for some, it may be that calling for hibernation, to go within and have quiet rest. What does your spirit need? Let us not wish away winter. Let us embrace the gifts of this season. In the days to come, there will be times when snow embraces the land like a prayer shawl, holding us close in the dark, keeping the warmth within. Find the gifts in those moments. I think one of the great ongoing teachings of winter is patience. I encourage all of you to go slow this winter and take your time, both for safety reasons and to develop patience. Challenging weather, car breakdowns, stressed people, holiday tensions. These are all potential patience builders, not destroyers. Even when you feel like you have no time, give yourself a moment to pause and breathe and be when out shopping in the crowds or stuck on busy roads. Our former DLL, Pamela, used to say that when someone cut her off in traffic, she would take a deep breath and send some calming Zen energy their way. And that's a much better response than mine, which usually involves swearing. So this season is a good reminder to find your Zen energy, letting people be as they are in their struggles, finding that patience and compassion within and letting it flow out to the world. We have a lot to worry about these days, and kind compassion is always a worthy gift. Tend to your spirit, hold it in sacred space and time, and find the good in winter. Behold the beauty of snowfall, hear the silence of the long nights. Let the cold outside create gratitude for the warmth of home and good company. Listen to your spirit and tend to yourself. Let the winter dark share its wisdom. Find what you need in the season of power and beauty. So say we all. So Solstice Prayer by Rebecca Parker. In the shadowed quiet of winter's light, earth mourns softly. Kneel down here on the frosty grass and feel the hope buried in the ground. Bend your ear to the beating heart of the planet and listen hard. A whisper, love this world. Distill peace from the snow and water the cities with mercy. Weave wonder from the forest and clothe grief with beauty. Rest in the rhythm of the turning year. Trace the golden threads connecting all beings and vow anew to do no harm. The winter trees stand watch, haloed in the last gleams of the slanting sun. Branches sway, birds sing, wonder abounds. Make your life an answer. Pay attention, live in awe.
And now I would like to read Mary Oliver's poem, Snowy Night. Last night, an owl in the blue dark tossed an indeterminate number of carefully shaped sounds into the world, which a quarter of a mile away, I happened to be standing. I couldn't tell which one it was, the bard or the great horned ship of the air. It was that distant. But anyway, aren't there moments that are better than knowing something? It's sweeter. Snow was falling, so much like stars filling the dark trees, that one could easily imagine its reason for being was nothing more than prettiness. I suppose if this were someone else's story, they would have insisted on knowing whatever is knowable, would have hurried over the fields to name it, the owl, I mean. But it's mine, this poem of the night, and I just stood there, listening and holding out my hands to the soft glitter falling through the air. I love this world, but not for its answers. And I wish good luck to the owl, whatever its name, and I wish great welcome to the snow, whatever its severe and comfortless and beautiful meaning.